Hello everyone, welcome back. I am Jaha Zainabu and this is Storytime with Jaha Zainabu 22. I'm glad you're here. I didn't think of a random story to begin with, but if I think of one then I'll tell it later. Today I'm going to share some poetry that I never share. These are incredibly rough drafts. Some of them appear in my blog. Some of them don't and probably never will. These are poems that some of them I am working on, and some of them I'm not. Some of the poems are just ways that I needed to release on whatever random day, and I just keep them. Some of them I just like certain lines that I'll pull and perhaps use later. Sit back and just be easy. Just ride this ride with me today. I hope that you're well. I hope that you had a great day. I hope that you are loving your lives. Be easy today. This first poem is called Reflection. I have taken to telling myself I'm pretty. I wake up and look into mirrors I used to avoid. I plant my feet firm as time, and I stare at all of my parts. My freckled face, my ink eyes, slight nose, my neck more wrinkled than before. My swinging breasts, my stomach that protrudes, this fupa that sags, my sweet thighs and legs, my hands, fingers and palms, black, strong, and ready. My shoulders, sturdy but weary, my unpainted and crooked toes, my buttocks that pokes, the fat on my back, the wings under my arms, all of it. All of it is me. My girlish grin and staining teeth, my brows and hair, these fingers and elbows, these ankles and calves. My vagina sings secrets and sortas. And there is more, than this wicker flesh. There is a sensitive and thumping heart that you can't see. My blood racing through veins. Inside, there is a brain, brilliant and beckoning for more knowledge to absorb. My uterus, cervix, my fallopian tubes and ovaries, the choir of my core. This body is a poem, a sonnet, simple and sensuous, nervous and inquisitive. It is changing by the days, the months, the menopause, breath by breath. I am this body. I am this soul, this whisper of a name. I am this me, bending as orchid, standing as tree. This poem is called Genesis. In the beginning was the rain. First, a few drops to test the earth, and then more. Then a pouring so flood, they called it a cry, a God cry. That's when it happened. The split between folks. Some say, can't a sad thing come to make God cry? Others say, weren't because of no sad thing at all, just God knew what the flesh born from dirt would become. Hands. You know, hands should welcome a body home, should have lips on each palm to kiss the day away. Will you kiss my day away? A kiss so suck, make me forget the dirt stuck on my shoes. Hands, you know, should hold knives tucked into nails, carve our names into walls, let the ghosts know that I am home. This next poem is untitled. I spend all day daydreaming. Night come before I even know. Supper time pass me by easy as gossip. I spend all day, my head locked inside my own eyes. See stories only the angels can tell. I travel far beyond the stars. I return with nothing but a song. Untitled. I always knew, I could always tell the difference between a for right now and a forever. I ain't never been impressed with good and decent. Ain't I a woman owed at least that? A for right now see mule in a woman like me. Watch me and love the way I work, way I wrestle the devil with these bare hands. But a forever take his time and asks, sweet as he can, say, baby, what hands satin as yours doing with a load like that? Untitled. And so, what if I disappeared into the dew of morning before the sun even rise? What if change was enough tease to alive everything been dead in me? What if the song in my head is all the riches that I need, and the shoes on my feet carry me to the happiness I crave? And I do, you know, desire so deeply a space I can wake up knowing anything is possible. Mark my word. Watch this body rest. Lay my head on pillows stuffed with yesterday's blues that won't ever see day again. Untitled. I hope I open the window every morning to see what the new day gonna tell, what the birds gonna sing, what the rain gonna bring. And this poem is called Again. I want to write about more than death and dying. Write about more than doom and gloom, and then Gaza and bodies, and then blues, and then news. People starving to death. Do you know what it is to see a body starve to death? Death. It takes time, you know. It takes patience and cruelty. It takes greed and corruption. 47 wants to flatten the land, make it beautiful again, where tourists visit and shop. Said he won't let the Palestinians back in on the land where their families died. He wants to be king of the world, you know. This is the world. All this death and destruction. This is the world. I have to be careful, you know. Writing poems about the news, it's so easy for me to get sucked in the sadness of the day. And there's this line that we, as artists, as writers, as truth tellers and news reporters have to stand on. We want to tell these stories about what's happening today, and like the isness of the day, and at the same time, we have to guard ourselves. We have to guard our brains. We have to guard our mental health. We have to protect our minds from a sinking that can happen when we do too much of it. Today, they say there was an earthquake today here in Atlanta. I didn't feel it. Makes me wonder, though, if even God ain't concerned way we handling this earth, with our trash, with the way we destroy, with how we deal with one another. I gotta hope if the ground shaking under our feet down here in the Bible Belt, message come through loud and clear. Just notes, just some releasing, just some pouring. Keep your notebooks, keep your journals. You never know. It is time now. That's the name of this poem. They are taking their enemies away. Their enemies look like you and me. Mayor Ras Baraka was arrested today. ICE agents wearing masks took him away, took him like it was right, like it was good and gospel. There is no language for why. His arrest was not legal. And maybe we'll get answers soon, but we already know the truth. The man thinks he's king and the ruler of the world. We knew this was coming. We saw it all along. Holed up in our homes now, afraid of knocks on our thin doors. The laws don't mean a thing now. We are storing bullets and guns, sharpening knives and knowledge, reading books, collecting water, breathing in and out. Now we're calling on ancestors, mothers, and fathers from before. We don't know who's next. The streets are getting bare. Now we're remembering the old songs and the pathways underground. This next poem is called Sophie's Day. Her name was Sophia, and we all called her Sophie. She was gorgeous and kind, was thin with soft hair. I was in the 11th grade when she shot herself in the head and died May 9th, the Sunday before Mother's Day. She held a gun to her silky mane and then pulled the trigger. She was only a senior in high school. Sophie was a baby. To me, she was a queen. We sang together in the youth choir at our church, rode the church bus and laughed. And the last Sunday I saw her, we sat in the back of the church and she told me I was beautiful. Tilted my head when I looked to the floor. She said I was beautiful. All the girls and boys, the budding young ladies and the young men, we sat at the table and drafted letters to our mothers in cursive and print. But before Mother's Day came, Sophie got off the school bus, was first to get home. She called her mother at work, then sat on her bed, or on the chair, or floor, and put a bullet through her head. News spread fast as the wind. We lined up the next Sunday. The ushers passed out booklets with notes to our mothers. Sophie's was in front. Her grandmother just cried there on page 1 with no reason why. Sophie was the first person who I had ever known who had committed suicide. And like I said in the poem, I was only in the 11th grade, and I had experienced death before then, but no suicide before. I didn't know anyone who, obviously I had heard of it, but didn't know anyone personally, and it shook me hard. And so May 9th is a weird day for me because I always remember and think of Sophie on that day. But it's a weird day because I have a cousin and who is 2 years older than I, who is much like a big sister. And her birthday is on May 9th. So there is this celebration, and there is also this sadness. Not a weeping sadness after this much time, but a sadness, a knowing that thing happened. I don't know where my voice is going, but I hope you hang in there with me. Today is a poetry kind of day. It rained today. I don't know why that makes it a poetry reading day. It just does. I like the rain. And I spent a lot of the day running errands. I didn't work today. I did work today. I worked very hard, but I did not work for anybody else. I didn't clean today. I got up this morning early, and I ran errands. My brakes are squeaky, so I went to see about getting my car serviced. And so I went to a company where I usually get my car serviced. And the guy said, well, if you get it done here, because you need the brakes and the routers. Am I saying routers right? Am I saying it right? It's routers today. Well, you need the brakes and the routers, so it's going to cost $1,000. And so I said, well, no, that won't happen today. And so I drove off. And I turned the radio down. And I said, I just had this conversation with God. And I was like, God, I need you to work this out because I need my car. And we're not spending $1,000 to get the brakes done. Unless you drop $1,000 in the mailbox today. It wasn't just, the conversation was not just a request for $1,000 or for the brakes. The conversation, the self-talk, the prayer was more a praise and more a declaration that this is not going to break me. This is not going to be the thing that sends me to tears. This is not going to pivot my day. This is not going to destroy the mood. This is not going to break the vibe, because we know it only takes that one thing. We know that it's not the brakes or the routers or the $1,000 or the lack thereof $1,000. It's the buildup of stuff. It's the old mountains of things that add up. And sometimes for me, I just have to declare that this won't be the straw. So I said this prayer, and I said, I know that there exists some brother who is good with cars, who will charge way less than $1,000. I know that this is a thing. So I'm driving, and I went to pick up some more boards to paint on so that I could paint today. And I did paint today. But on my way to pick up these boards, I passed this tire and brake shop, which is incredibly close to my home, walking distance from my home. And it's a tire and brake shop I never noticed before. And so I went to pick up the boards, and then on the way back, I said, well, you know what? Let me just see. So I pulled in, and who should come to my window but just the guy I saw in my head. This smooth brother with gold teeth. So I know he know what he's talking about. I know he know how to fix cars. And he was like, when you talking about doing it? And I was like, look, how much are you going to charge me first? So I said, well, well, before you, answer, what if I go get the parts, because I had already called my Joy, and she had already called, in fact, my Joy way in LA, and she found a shop in Conyers and texted me and was like, you can get the brakes and the rotors for only, and this, and you can get all four. Like, we already had the whole thing. So I was like, what if I provide the parts? So he was like, you know what, look, I'll do it all for $3.99. Bet, sir, bet. So I am hoping that, because I don't know, I am hoping that $3.99 is a good price for what I'm asking him to do. I do know that $3.99 is significantly different than $1,000. And I count that as a win for today. I chop that up as a prayer answered. How about that? So that's my random story for today. This poem is called The Moment. I spend time in the quiet, sitting on my couch, looking out windows, staring at the trees, listening to God's voice inside of me. I feel my feet planted on the rug. I count each breath, inhale, exhale. I listen to the water boil, softening the potatoes. The fan lightly whizzes above my head. I put the book down that I was reading. Stories about black men in prison. And I remember my Uncle Bubba and all the years that he spent inside. Sometimes I think that I am inside too. Me and all the black and brown people who live on this land. Maybe we are all inside and just don't know it. Every day, the cages all around us becoming more and more clear. Read the news if you want to. It will send you to tears. It's almost a curse in and of itself to say the man's name out loud. They call him 47. They call him the devil. Only a devil will do what he does. Take food from a baby. Take a father from his family. Send a mother to her grave. Only a devil. Only a devil. Make me wonder sometimes how the end is going to be. Wonder if God and this devil gonna square off in the street. For now, though, I sit sit right here and just take a moment for myself before I strap my boots and fight. I'm going to find some more poems. I am kind of deep diving in my blog. I told you I post poems on my blog that I don't read. This poem is called Business at Hand. We will always shine. We will continue to fight. We know that we are not just fighting for ourselves. We are fighting for our children, for our grandchildren. We have been here before. We are gathering resources. We are resting now. We are preparing now, watching. Now we are waiting. Now we are educating ourselves. We are keeping private business private now. We are knowing now. Knowing who we are now, knowing who they are now, knowing who God is, knowing who our ancestors are. We are listening now. We are thinking now, praying now. We are eating. We are hydrating. We are readying ourselves for tomorrow now. And we are, we are. This poem is called Who I Am. I am brown, content, and raggedy, clad in leggings and sweater. Boots cover my feet and unpainted toes. I rise early morning and pray. I speak things into existence. My head in my hands, my feet under covers. I am woman and flesh, still giddy with lovers. I am my favorite song to dance to. My breasts judder like jello, hips shimmy like lightning. My thighs free as a jazz tune, my feet tapping and ready. Move with me, backwards and forth. Sing along, my friend, breathy and off key. I have found my tribe and rhythm. Come celebrate with me. Yeah. I am scrolling through stories I don't want to read. This poem is called Solo. I had my suspicions before the ghosting. How the late night phone calls dwindled to texts. When my I miss you was met with a thank you. When I opened my own door and then carried my bags like I ain't a prize. Like it don't take voice to resolve a conflict that could have been cured with a phone call anyway. Like you could just swipe right twice and get another me. And now, days later, I woke up knowing there was nothing to miss anyway. Sure, it was fun while it lasted, but what were we outside of the beautiful I hoped we'd grow into? And did not promise myself poems ago that I would never fall in love with another man's potential. And so now I sleep on both sides of the bed. My feet and legs cover the entire couch. I eat the whole pizza and drink the rest of the wine that I bought anyway. I do not trouble myself with a replay of who we were. You were always gonna leave. Whether or not no matter I said, not because your absence, love, is not disappointed. Rather, it is the coward-ass way you handled me. You knew I was a hot pot before you approached the stove without gloves, but this is who you are. And so today, I slip on a sundress and stare at myself in the mirror and say, baby, you gone with your bad self, because ain't I bad? Ain't I a force? Don't I light a fucking room? Even if I am the only one who sees the glare. Yeah. Don't it happen? Don't it do what it do? Some of the poems were from my journal, but some are in my blog on Patreon. Let's see. I be telling stories, y'all. Like, what do I be talking about? Yeah. In my head, I wanted to tell this story, and then I changed my mind, so I'm not. But y'all be all right. Just chill. Just relax. Just sit back. Turn on some music in the background. This poem is a poem that I did publish, actually. It's called My Joy. It's about my friend, My Joy. We hold this friendship sacred as an eagle, bald, flying high in the blue air. This promise of sisterhood, behold a thing precious as pinky swear, me and you, us never part. Heart to art, we write ourselves free, painting red stories all over this town. She be vault, keeping secrets stashed with grandmama's recipes. I hold tears she ain't ready to let loose. What blood got to do with family? What DNA matter to hands that slap five the way we do? Ain't no ocean, ain't no sea. What miles apart got to do with connection? What river, what lake keep my sister away from me? We share words and stories like gold, like platinum, like freedom, like the only way I'm free, my sister free too. We share wisdom and wine, share weed and woes, books and clothes. This is God. To friend like this, to laugh like this, to hold space this deep. This is love. This is love. This poem is called Shepherd. Throughout my life, you have been faithful, have protected me in ways I could not see, have lifted my head those hours I sat there on the edge of my bed and wondered and worried. You dried my tears and were there to catch the drops that fell. You have been constant all of my days. So many times I didn't know how I would make it through, and you saved my life again, over and over continuously. I cannot count the ways you have come through for me. I worship you, oh God. I worship you with hands held high, with a heart filled with thanksgiving. I worship you. The nights had grown too dark for me to see. I tried to fix it myself and failed miserably. I was hopeless and fretful, fearful and weary, with the ocean at my neck. When the clouds hung low, there you were again, as mother and friend, as brother and protector, as healer and father, as biscuit and rent, as word and song. I feel like going on. I have a yesterday with you. I know your friendship to be true. The flesh of me knows the moon will wane again, but in the hour that I can't see, I know with all of my knowing right where you'll be, where you've always been, here inside of me. This poem is called Rules. Okay, the rules are, there are no rules, except around my heart. Around my heart, regarding my heart, there are rules about how to handle my feelings, about holding them like hot grease in glass, about the way I love and unlove, and how often, way I build and destroy, and why, way I fall, and then rise before the count of 10 to show up for love. Again, I am bloody. I have come back stronger, and you should know. My tongue is lava. I was born volcano, ready to erupt. I am mirror, reflecting your light. I am the sort of beast who can be dark too. It's up to you. I am a vicious being, ferocious about protecting what's mine in the bag of emotions I carry like heirloom. I am sensitive and sincere. This heart has been shattered before, torn and stitched back together with no anesthesia. I learned lessons I could have learned an easier way. I have vowed, never again will I set my sights on another man's potential, will not dim my light so that someone else can shine, will not wish another motherfucker would. I am my own woman, forging my own path, knowing my own worth. There are no rules. Let's create a world where we grow like lavender in a field, love bigger than promise, where we are as precious as laughter, a good orgasm, and a secret between a baby and her God. We get to say, get to stomp around our world like toddlers in a tantrum. My heart, though, is off limits. I am weak sometimes and weary in the waiting for the other shoe to drop, tired of side-eyeing, expecting the monster to leap out of bushes or out of you and dismantle the good work I've done. I get scared of good, of easy, of still waters. It's crazy, I know. This work in progress I am. This Ready for love I be. This artist, this Virgo rising, this freedom song I have become. I won, finally. This game called love, accepting, cherishing, fully, finally, me. That poem is published in my first ebook of this series the ebook is called Poems on a Night in Georgia Like This, and that poem is in there. This poem is called Love. Love can be found, not that it was ever lost. It can be dived into like a lake, a river, a teardrop. Just be careful. Love can be savored, can be held, remembered. Love can be captured, forgotten, denied. It's up to you. Love is a decision, a choice, a birthright. Love is a forever. It just always is somewhere. It lands over you like dew, like Christmas, like a question or a compliment. Love is there whether you turn your back on it or not. You can call on love, can depend on it. Love will remind you to give to yourself as much as you give to another. Love will not show up because love is there already, patiently, waiting to be acknowledged. You can be fooled, into believing that you don't deserve love, that love is out of your reach. Love is as within your grasp as your own thoughts, close as a prayer, as permanent as soul. You can become blind to love, though, because of hatred, because fear, because of the lies you tell yourself. Stay open, friends. Get quiet. Be still. Get ready. I wrote this poem December 10th when Nikki Giovanni passed away. I am a poet because of Nikki Giovanni. That actually could be the whole poem, because that's true. I am a poet because of Nikki Giovanni. Before her, there was Shakespeare, sure. And poets like him we studied in school. I appreciated his work, but poetry wasn't for me. Not really. I didn't grow up with black poets or believing that being a poet was something one could be for real. And then I read Ego Trippin'. And Nikki Giovanni's work spilled all over me like rain. She opened my eyes and gave me access to a world that would become my home. She spoke to my heart like no other. I was the junkiest junkie, read everything of hers that I could. Sometime around 1992, I sat cross-legged on the floor at SO1 bookstore in Inglewood, and there she was, live in front of me. I held on to every word. I listened to her laugh and check folks and read her work. She gave me voice. She gave me hope. She dared me to dream that maybe it was possible for me to tell my stories as a poem in true black girl tongue, to stand on stages, to write books, to inspire someone else, one of my favorite poets. My favorite person, hands down, my son Urias, was the first to text me this morning with the news that Nikki Giovanni passed. because he knew this should come from family. He knew what a loss to the world this was. But we have her work, and we have work to do. What a day. So that wasn't really a poem, but just kind of like, you know, I don't know, I have this thing in my neck. A massage would be good. It's not raining. It stopped raining. And it's late and it's quiet. This poem is called Women Like Me. I am sending this as a reminder to myself that I am never alone, that I am definitely lovable. I am a priceless friend and astounding mother. I am beautiful, smart, and funny. All the things a woman like me needs to remember, because we forget women like me. Brown, quirky, often at the unfunny end of the joke. Women like me with our cards close to the vest, conservative with our clapbacks, generous and free. A woman like me, a woman like, where is it? A woman like me who sometimes forgets that freedom ain't free, that free rent ain't cheap or for the weak, that growing old takes guts, that a good hustle takes practice and patience, God and a loved one on the other side of the veil, a talented woman like me with a good story to tell and a poem at the ready. A woman like me needs a reminder to rest, heal, to remember, to build and burn down bridges. We have to remember to breathe, bathe, to see, to know, to be still sometimes, to touch and allow ourselves to be held, because we forget the distinction between a good caress and a fuck, and how important both are. We forget to eat, to replenish ourselves, to laugh from the belly, and we hide too often too many pieces of ourselves. We get quiet, knowing that this world needs the noise we make. We shrink because of the voices, the guilt, the embarrassment, the thoughts of not being enough, of being too much, too sensitive, too extra, too short on money, credit, credentials. We get sad. We get lonely. We cry. So we have to remind ourselves with notes, with journals, with our names written in blood in the sky, that we belong. That taking up space is normal and necessary. We have to ask ourselves often, who gives a shit about weight or religion or what school? And so the hell what about dirty laundry, the dust balls and wrinkled sheets? It's time we take time for ourselves, for our feelings, time to pay attention to our black hands and shoulders that hold our families, our neighborhoods, and the world. Time to remember that we have to hold on to our sanity, our skills, our memory, our history, our stories. Time to remember that we have worked hard and long enough, and that we owe no one but our own good selves. This is called The Way. There is always room for love. Even when there isn't. There's room and time for conversation, for connection, for making something that was wrong right. We are all magic enough. Oh, my neck. We are all magic enough to turn the tide. We are responsible for truth, for clearing the skies, for extending a hand. We are our brothers' keepers, our sisters' keepers. We belong to one another. We are all one. We are only one. We are parents to all children, comforters to every broken heart. There is no me without you. You are not fed if I am still hungry. It is up to you. It is up to me to hear your cries. It is your lot to dry my tears. I am your feet and eyes. You are my skin and toes. See how much easier life is when we know this about ourselves, about each other, about God, about the world, about peace. Breathe, babies. Breathe, babies. Breathe. This poem is called And Just Like That. And sometimes peace is known in the not peace, when the air is not rosy and clear, because anxiety, because nerves, because age, because the weather, because whatever. Because sometimes tensions are high. Because words are spoken and they land like hot grits. Fear is expressed and space gets close. And so therein lies the opportunity to remember love, to recall easy and sweet times, because nasty don't last always. And a good movie is balm. A Maxwell tune trumps an attitude. A long nap is bandage. A turkey sandwich is God, and apple juice tastes like wine when it has to. There is always remembering to make new possibilities possible, because a good witch has power. And ain't I a good witch? Ain't I an alchemist? Ain't every black woman a transformer? Kalamazoo. Can't I cast spells? Can't I make it do what it do? And then night falls and washes away the dirt that was, and the leftovers come out. And a poem is written. And just like that, I remember who the fuck I am. The power I have over bullshit I can't control. Just like that. It's cool again. It's diggable planets and old black flicks again. Just when the devil thought it had its way, can't I raise a motherfucking vibration? Look at God. Look at God. This poem is called Again, Again. In this moment, I am in a little pain. My back is like hurting. And guess what? That will not be the straw that breaks me either. Yeah, there is like this twitch in my back right here that keeps like doing this down my back. And I am not going to give it energy that it doesn't deserve. I'm going to rest tonight, and I'm going to sleep well. I'm going to get up in the morning, and I am going to go to work. I'm going to work tomorrow. I'm going to paint tomorrow. I'm going to post and sell art tomorrow. And shout out to the painting soul today. Look at God. I'm going to get my car repaired very soon. I'm going to live in the space of whatever is going on with my back. This poem is called Again, Again. Here we are, hoping again, on bended knee again, protecting our daughters, our reproductive rights again, praying for the safety of our children again, again. It feels hopeless again, but here we are. White men in hoods marching down streets in Ohio. We all feel unsafe. Because under that hood is my dentist, my doctor, my children's teacher, my lawyer, my loan officer, my pastor, who knows. White children raid the halls of Beverly Hills High School with flag poles and Trump flags. And this is California, the New South. But I won't bore you with the news of the day, but let that sink in, because here we are. And the weary still must rest, and the oppressed must organize. The preachers must preach, the congregation must pray. The youth must be educated, and the artist must create. And we must all ready ourselves for this same again, again. This poem, that will probably be my last for tonight. It's called When. When the prayers have been prayed and answered, when the tears have fallen, there's paint all of my body. When the tears have fallen down cheeks, when the eyes are finally dry and the belly finally full, the mind quiet, finally. There is peace, there is understanding, there is love when the mouth is closed and wisdom seeps through pores. Breathing happens, deep and easy, finally, sleep happens. Love happens. There is joy, you know. There is remembering the journey, the rocks, the water over the head, and all the pain. The voices, the thoughts. There is knowing that the battle is not over yet. Thank you for joining me. You know, sometimes there's thunder. Do you hear the thunder? There's thunder. Sometimes I feel so hyper and so up and I'm not down. I'm just like chill right now. Like, I'm chill. I'm chill and having a thing with my back. But I am chill. Like, my mood is chill. And my promise is that I show up in whatever mood I'm in. I'm going to show up. I am going to deliver poems or lessons on writing, or y'all gonna get these good gems or these good stories. I'm gonna keep showing up. I hope that you have an incredible day and that you rest well and have a good night. Peace, y'all.